All right, guys, we are on day 3, and I wanted to touch a little bit on why water is so important. There are 3 things essential to human survival, and I'm going to let you know what they are in order. If you think you know what they are, shout them out, write them down, and if you're right, I will gladly give you 10 burpees. Be like, ha, I knew this is what they were. Do my burpees, Trevor. So number 1 is going to be oxygen. So unless you are a deep spear fisherman off the coast of Hawaii, who can hold their breath for 20, 30 minutes, which is incredible. Most of us are going to make it about 1 to 2 minutes before we pass out. And then from there, it's only a matter of time before loss of oxygen to our brain, ultimately causes us to die, and definitely not a good place to be. Next would be water. So once you are completely dehydrated, it's about 24 to 48 hours, going to go into a coma. And same thing, unless you get some water inside you, you're not going to be here for very long. And then lastly is going to be our food. And depending on how much stored body fat you have, that's going to dictate how long you can go without food. But that's something that I'll touch on when we get to the protein side of stuff. As far as water goes though, 90% of our blood is made up of water, which is incredible. The other 10% is going to be made up of different proteins. Every cell in our body is going to be made up of water. It's what allows our oxygen, our nutrients to get where they need to go. Water helps from an energy standpoint to battle fatigue. It helps from a mental standpoint as far as our brains are predominantly water. And so if we're dehydrated, we can get headaches. Some people even get migraines. You're going to have a hard time focusing. It helps us be regular, right? Go to the bathroom, flush out those toxins. It's going to help us cushion our joints and our bones. So those are just few of the things that water helps with. Now, as far as knowing, am I getting enough or not? Hopefully by now we're getting close to that half of our body weight in ounces. But if you're ever unsure about it, if you start to feel some of these symptoms, it probably means that we're dehydrated. So the easiest thing in my opinion is kind of check in. Do I have dry mouth? If I have some cotton mouth, dry mouth, unless you're doing some stuff you shouldn't be doing, then it's probably due to lack of water and we need to increase that, or low water. Next would be how's my urine? Kind of as like silly as it is, that's something that we should kind of be checking in on. And it's one of those things that if I have a really dark urine color, I definitely want to increase my water. And then if it continues, then you're probably going to want to go see a doctor. Ultimately, what we're striving for is the same color in is the same color out. That means that we're really hydrated. There is a point where you can become overhydrated, and I will touch on that tomorrow when I go over electrolyte balance. But it's one of those things that unless you've taken a multivitamin, your urine should be just a little yellow tint, and it should kind of keep the same color as your water going in. So sometimes you lose water. Just to be aware of it, is you're not only losing it when you sweat, but think every time you breathe. Even with me talking right now, I'm perspirating. There's some water coming out. When I sleep, you're going to lose a ton of water. If you're sick and you're having to go to the bathroom a lot, you're definitely going to be losing a lot of that water. So it's not just when it's really hot and when I'm really sweating. And with that, I know a lot of times people say, hey, I barely sweat. And that could be the case. Some people do, sweat more than others. But ultimately, if you're not getting enough water, of course you're not going to sweat because your body's just holding on to that. So hopefully that was helpful. Again, check back in tomorrow and I'll talk a little bit about why electrolytes are important and how to balance being a little bit overhydrated, because that is a thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys keep up the great work.